And then you're going to make this into something like this.
That's right.
What
Yes.
what do you think of the influence of Iran in the Middle East?
Well, it's bad influence, of course. Well, here, let me tell you that
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. His Excellency Mr. Essam bin Abed Al Thaqafi. Is that?
that's right. Yes. it
Do I
is.
pronounce your name
Excellent.
well?
Excellent.
How are you, Ambassador?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you so much for coming over to our studio and be our guest. I mean, I'm very honored to have the Saudi ambassador here sitting right in front of me.
Well, it's my honor talking to you, talking to your followers, and I've been waiting for this moment long time.
Oh, thank you. You know, Pak Dubes, when I say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, I don't feel like I'm saying an Arabic word. I mean, it is so Indonesian as Indonesian as it can get. I mean, it seems like I'm speaking in Bahasa. I mean, there's a lot of words from Arabic words that were immersed into our culture, right? And there are similarities in our words,
Well,
right?
maybe I think that's because of course, Indonesia is an Islamic country. The majority of the population are Muslims. So, you know, the welcome of Muslims is Assalamu alaikum, which is the welcome of Al-Jannah. And, of course, the first thing, normally Muslims, when he meet others, he say Assalamu alaikum. So, also we find that we feel comfort that when we see our Indonesian brothers and we say Salam Alaikum, it's break all the ice from the beginning, I think.
But even that greeting is not only exclusive to the Muslims in Indonesia, even non-Muslims in Indonesia, you know, before they go on a stage making a speech or, you know, before going into somebody else's house, you know, what have you, non-Muslims in Indonesia also say the same greeting. So
it becomes part of the culture, I think.
yeah, I mean,
part of the culture.
any other words that are maybe similar?
In Arabic
And Indonesian?
well,
You speak Bahasa, right? A bit, maybe?
little, just few words, because well, here in Indonesia, you find most of the people, even if they doesn't speak English, they speak Arabic. So you feel that you don't need to speak Bahasa, but of course it's a very important language, and I'm trying in the beginning to learn Bahasa, but maybe because of the work, because of the engagements, because of many things. So we are just getting few words day by day.
What are some words that are similar from Arabic and
There are
Indonesian?
many
There are
words.
many, right?
For example, I found just before I come here, masjid is the same, imam is the same. For example, kursi.
Kursi,
For
yeah.
example,
Halal haram, of course.
halal haram.
Yeah. Haji.
Haji.
Abad. Do you say abad also?
Wakil.
Oh, wakil.
Mumkin.
Mungkin, okay.
Yeah, many words. Yeah.
Is khitan also Arabic?
Kitan.
Khitan, like circumcise or circumcision? No? It's not?
Maybe
Oh.
the pronunciation is
Pronunciation different. Okay,
it's
I
different.
may pronounce it badly,
Maybe.
but you know, Indonesians and Arabs, especially the Saudis, there's a lot of the culture that's been absorbed into our culture. I mean, the way we say salam, as we discussed just now, the way we dress, the way we conduct businesses, the way we manage our family affairs, the way we pray, all the same. So I think Indonesia wouldn't be as much as a culture shock for you. I mean,
That's right.
depends. I mean, compared to you know, your time you were in Norway and Argentina, right?
Right.
What do you think?
Well, of course, you're totally right. And before that, well, first I'm from Mecca. And we used in Mecca during all Hajj seasons to receive Muslims from all over the Islamic countries. So normally the Indonesian pilgrims are the largest pilgrims. And so when we met them every year and we talk to them and we find that we are very close to in many things.
Okay, so no problem, no
No
issues with it.
problem.
Okay. Oh, talking about the pilgrimage, Hajj, it's
Mhm.
now closed, right? When is it going to be reopened?
Well,
Uh-huh.
now Saudi Arabia is working day and night
Mm-hmm.
to prepare for next season, which is, of course, within 3 months from now.
Mm-hmm.
Very soon we'll announce the mechanism of the next
Mm-hmm.
Hajj. Of course, it's not gonna be the same like any other normal Hajj.
Mm-hmm.
There will be the quota will be reduced,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the health management and the health
Mm-hmm.
protocol will be strict, and
Vaccine required? Vaccination?
it's not
Not yet.
not yet
Okay.
decided, but
Okay.
I think it's even if it's not the pilgrim not getting the vaccination,
Mm-hmm.
at least to get the PCR to prove
Okay.
that
I see. Mm-hmm.
he's free of
Mm-hmm.
of the disease. But inshallah, very soon we'll get all the news about and the mechanism of the Hajj.
Okay, because a lot of people are waiting for the
I know, I know.
pilgrimage to be
Especially
open.
last year there was no Hajj,
Mm-hmm.
so of course.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in a country like Indonesia, I heard that
Mm-hmm.
there are some pilgrims in the queue for more than
Mm.
20, 25 years.
Yeah, yeah. It's
So
even longer
when
than that. Even longer than that,
mhm,
in some
mhm,
cases. Yeah. And before the pandemic, there was we got quota about 220,000 every year for
220,
okay.
230, yeah.
And sometimes your government also gave us an extra
Mhm,
because there is a leftover like 50, 40, 40,000, 50,000 every
mhm,
year.
mhm.
And so that's why we got more on the quota.
That's right.
Yeah, more people
Mhm,
to be allowed to perform Hajj.
right.
uh, do you think you as ambassador of to Indonesia now,
Mhm,
when the situation gets back to normal, would
mhm.
you also help us in getting that extra quota?
Of course, all the time we are doing that because
Mm-hmm.
you know exactly that how much Hajj is important for Indonesian.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about
Mm-hmm.
200,000, 30
Mm-hmm.
or 20, it means that,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's a small number.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it's a big number when you compare it with other countries.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, last Hajj, not the last year, but the year before,
Mm-hmm.
there was an extra 10,000
Yeah.
Haji
Mm-hmm.
on the normal quota. So it was
Mm-hmm.
about 235,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Pak Dubes, for
And inshallah, we'll work, of course,
okay.
on that. But hopefully that things get back to
Get
normal
better.
very
Yeah,
soon.
we pray for
Inshallah.
that also. And how Saudi Arabia now? I mean, a lot of things have been changing in Saudi, right? I mean, it's more open now. I mean, in terms, especially in terms of its government policies and public policies,
Hmm.
it has become quite aggressive in building this new image.
Hmm.
Constructing new projects. And I heard of a project like Al Qidiyah,
Hmm.
like an
Al-Qadian, yeah. Hmm.
entertainment complex in
Hmm.
Riyadh. You
Right.
even want to get
Hmm.
Six Flags. I mean, plan to be open next year or so, and you also allowed music concert to be held,
Hmm.
and AMC theaters already entered Saudi market. I mean, I
Hmm.
went to AMC theaters a lot when I was in the US, so
Hmm.
I'm familiar with that. Why is this happening? I mean, what's going on in Saudi?
Well, in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, let me tell you that Saudi Arabia is a part of this world. We cannot just stay in a corner
Mm-hmm.
and we say that this is Saudi Arabia. Of course, we have
Mm-hmm.
to join what's going on, especially
Mm-hmm.
nowadays. The world become very small, and
Mm-hmm.
what's happening in the last part of the world, you just hear it and know about it
Mm-hmm.
at the same moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's normal,
Mm-hmm.
all these changes in Saudi Arabia. Of course, there is one thing very important that will when we talk about Saudi Arabia, first comes to the mind Hajj and Umrah
Mm-hmm.
and Islam. That will remain the same and Saudi Arabia will remain the same, inshallah, the leader of the Muslim world. And but of course, when you talk about other parts of Saudi Arabia, yes, there are so many changes. We are opening the country not only for tourism, but also for foreigner investors, for foreigner visitors, and tourism. Of course, you know that industry of tourism is very important, and many countries around the world just rely on the tourism. So we have in Saudi Arabia many beautiful parts in the north of Saudi Arabia, in the south of Saudi Arabia, and why not we join the world just to call visitors and tourists to come and see our country.
Okay, so
So it's also a part of the income of the country. We are not going to rely on the oil prices for the rest of our life. We have to find other sources for the income.
But interesting when you say about relying on oil, because correct me if I'm wrong, but according to Aramco, your oil reserves would last until 2090, which is still 70 years away, and
That's
ours. Our oil reserves would only last until 2029, which is only 8 years away. So you still have 70 more years, but you're already thinking about all these things.
We are not thinking or scared of the oil to get out of our resources, but we are thinking that in the future or in the near future, the world will not use the oil the same like before. Now, the technology is changing, and the whole world is just replacing the oil needs with technology. So that's one of the reasons.
Okay, so when is after all what you have done, the Saudis have done, when is it going to be open for tourists? Say, if I want to go there, I mean, just to go sightseeing, when is it going to be open?
Well, it's already open.
It's already open.
It's already opened, I think, 2-3 years ago.
Oh,
But
so
because
before
of the
COVID,
pandemic, just of course, the same like any other place in the world, we just stop everything until this pandemic over.
Okay, Pak Dubes, I have a slide that I would like to show you here. This is about a project called NEOM.
Yes.
And it's in the western part of Saudi Arabia and
Northwestern part, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's Jordan, right? Up north.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And you're going to build something in here. And I check on Google Maps and I click on the pictures. Coba klik lagi. I saw this area. Right now it's like this and like this. And then you're going to make this into something like this?
That's right. That's right. And it's going to be the unique city around the world.
This is like, a setting come out of Matrix or,
And
like
more.
Hollywood movies.
Exactly. Exactly.
When is it going to be done?
Well, within 2030, I think it's going to be ready, yes.
10 years?
10 years, yes. Because, well, our vision of 2030 means that in 2030 that most of our future plans will be ready, inshallah. And NEOM, as you mentioned, that this is one of the most important projects in the vision.
Oh, what are the projects you have? You also have this Middle East Green Initiative?
Well, yes, this is a new initiative that Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince, announced just 3 days ago, which is the idea of planting 10 billion trees in Saudi Arabia. That's why we call it Green Saudi Arabia. And about 50 billion trees in the Middle East.
Any other country doing the same thing in the Middle East? Like you?
Well, of course, it's with the participation of all countries of the Middle East. The initiative will come not only by the Middle East countries, by most of the the countries around the world, because you know that it's this initiative will participate to reduce the carbon in the world. I think the plan of Saudi Arabia will reduce the carbon 4% of the mondial request, and the plan of Green Middle East will reduce about 10% of the carbon.
Of the carbon. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So it's mondial needs. It's
Okay.
so it means that we are not only in Saudi Arabia, but we are participating with the whole
Okay.
global to.
I'm just, imagining right now, thinking of a view of Saudi Arabia with deserts and camel, small huts, villages. Now,
No, that's
modern buildings.
long time ago. It's not
Modern buildings
anymore.
and
Yes.
rock concert, woman empowerment.
Mhm.
How's women anyway? Now there's a change in treatment of women.
Yes, big change. Big change.
You can drive.
Now, women, of course, she can drive.
Hmm.
Women participating in all important ministries, in all important companies in Saudi Arabia. She's now she's an ambassador. Now she's vice.
Ambassador?
Yes, we have two women ambassadors in United States and in Norway. And in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we have something like 400 women diplomats. So, and not only that, women is now almost half part of the society, of course, like any other society. And she's playing very, very important role, totally different when you talk about Saudi Arabia 15 years ago or 20 years ago. At that time, women was only like a doctor, like a woman teacher, like a nurse, like. But now you can find Saudi women everywhere, especially when you talk about international organization.
Okay, can they join the military also?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Hmm.
so a lot of things have have changed
Happening, yes,
in
that's right.
in terms of the treatment of women. But how about migrant workers, especially Indonesians? I mean, this is very interesting. Uh, how would you ensure that our workers working in Saudi Arabia, they are protected? They are not being abused by their employers. They get their salaries, wages paid on time. They have their leaves given appropriately.
Well, first of all, let me tell you that now for more than 7 years, Indonesia stopped sending workers to Saudi Arabia and all Middle East countries. Now there is a new agreement that signed between Saudi Arabia and Indonesia, and we are going to start receiving workers. I think because of the pandemic, we stopped it. It have to be last April, but we keep delayed it until maybe within 2 or 3 months. So Indonesian workers will start coming to Saudi Arabia. Of course, there is a new system and new mechanism that ensure the protection of foreign workers, not only Indonesian, in general, the former workers, their rights, their salaries, and they, of course, it's very important also between the workers themselves and the work owner. So this agreement between Indonesia and Saudi Arabia, talking about all these things, and inshallah, it's ensure the protection of the Indonesian workers.
Okay, because some of the viewers might be thinking of becoming migrant workers and then leaving for Saudi, and maybe some of them would like to know that I don't want to go to Saudi Arabia and then end up getting executed.
Let me tell you something in this issue. Well, before stopping sending workers to Saudi Arabia, the number reached up to 800,000 Indonesian workers in Saudi Arabia, especially house workers. And when you talk about this big number, and you hear about 5 or 10 or 15 cases happening, I think it's very normal. Because what about other thousands of, hundred thousands of workers? They are living in peace. They get all their rights. But for human being, when you hear about 1 or 2 or 5 cases, you think that all workers going to Saudi Arabia will face the same kind of things, which is totally wrong, of course. But I ensure again that there is a new mechanism and new system, get the foreigner workers their rights directly, and of course this mechanism will allow them to take all their rights.
Okay. What do you think of the influence of Iran in the Middle East?
Well, it's bad influence, of course. You know that the Islamic Revolution in Iran was in 1979. From that time until now, how do you see the Middle East? You talk about Lebanon, you talk about Iraq, you talk about Syria. Now you are talking about Yemen. All these have done by the influence of Iran. And does Iran, when they interfere in these countries, give them the future? Look at Syria, look at Lebanon, look at Yemen now, look
Bahrain.
at Bahrain. Thanks God, it was about, but so the problem of our region is Iran after revolution. Because they interfere in our interior issues, not only in this country you mentioned, even in Saudi Arabia. Because Shia in Saudi Arabia have been living with the Sunnah neighbor by neighbor, door to door, and even you don't know if this is Sunni or Shia. They are living together and they get married from each other, and there was no problem. But after the interfere of Iran in our region, it becomes a kind of political conflict between Shia and Sunnah. But it's not a religious, of course, conflict.
It is not religious, but
of course, no doubt,
politics. But what do you think the response from the Saudis?
Well, from the beginning until now, we are fighting against this ideology, and of course, when it comes to Yemen, you know that Yemen is a close border to Saudi Arabia, so we have to protect our country. We have to protect our the holy cities, Mecca and Medina, because the target to reach there.
They're still bombing Saudis?
Yes, yes. And of course, I'm sure that you heard about the Saudi initiative a week ago, that to stop ceasefire in the region. But unfortunately, until now, the Houthis doesn't follow or doesn't respect the initiative and respond the initiative. So situation is still the same.
Oh. Okay, now talking about international relations, I think it won't be enough without talking about your relations with the United States. Let's look at this slide. Okay, here there is an article that says U.S. President Joe Biden says Saudi Arabia will be held accountable after report says Prince ordered capture or kill of Jamal Khashoggi. Coba klik lagi. Uh, and then this article says U.S. intelligence report concluded Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman approved an operation in Istanbul. So you have this statement from the Americans. What do you think? How do you see your relations with the U.S. in the future?
Well, here, let me tell you that the relation between Saudi Arabia and United States, it's not a new kind of relation. It's a historical relation. You are talking about more than 70 or 80 years of relationship. And interests between Saudi Arabia and the United States is strong. Yes, and sometimes we have this kind of relation going up and down. But by the end, I think every country will follow up their interest, and the American interest in Saudi Arabia is very strong, and also our interest in the United States is very strong. So, in my opinion, this relation will continue if we are happy or not. The relation will continue because it's.
So it won't be affected with what's going on.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Anyway, I've been to Riyadh and I saw it looks like any other U.S. town. I mean, the roads are big, the cars are big. You know, the supermarket, grocery stores look like. You know, I thought I was in a small town in the U.S. Not a small town, but one town in the U.S. Did you think so?
So this is a reflection of the strong relationship between the two countries. So it's not a matter of the president or others. It's a matter of the how much is the relation strong between the two countries.
So if the U.S. asked the Saudis to sign Abraham Accords because of your friendship, would you sign it or?
Our position is very clear in this matter. We are still looking for the two states solution, and we insist for that. And of course, there was Arabic plan to solve the problem since 2002 in the Arab conference in Beirut, and we are still think that this is the way to get out of the problem. After that, if we really found the two states solution, we'll think about relation with Israel.
So you support the reconciliation of Hamas and Fatah, despite the fact that says Hamas is being backed by Iran,
In my opinion, the relation between Hamas and Fatah, this is an interior issue. And of course, Saudi Arabia tried many times to solve the problem between Hamas and Fatah, and hopefully that one day they get back together, because it's the future of Palestine is to get all together and face the one enemy. So this is the solution, I think. Yes.
Okay. All right, Pak Dubes, I think it's enough to talk about other countries, about Iran, about the US. I would like to talk more about Indonesia and what kind of similarities that we have between the Saudis and Indonesian. And I would like to ask if some traditions that we do are maybe the same as what you have. Okay, we have this bukber or buka bersama. It's eating together during an iftar. Do you do this also?
Yes, of course. Of course. Well, Ramadan is a good occasion for families to get together. And of course, iftar is the most important meal in Ramadan. So you find that families getting together and get iftar together. The same like Indonesia. I like it here in Indonesia. I remember the first year I come to Indonesia. It was in 2 months before Ramadan.
Before Ramadan, okay.
So I found that exactly the Indonesian practicing the same Ramadan like Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
So you find yourself busy all the time. Sometimes we get 2 or 3 iftar invitation at the same day. So.
But no, if you say this is something similar or the same, no, I wouldn't trust that. But because this may be stereotypical, but I've heard that Saudis usually sleep during the day and then wake up before iftar. Is that true?
That's right. you know why?
So that's
you know why?
different.
Well, weather in Saudi Arabia is very hot,
Okay.
and for the last 10 years, Ramadan come in the summer.
Okay. Oh.
So imagine yourself, you are fasting, and
Okay.
the degrees is 50 or 45. It's very difficult to keep fasting and be out of the house.
That's good.
So that's one of the reasons. So and it become as a custom that we stay. Well, most of the people stay sleeping the whole day, and they keep awake the whole night until sahur and until fajr.
That's a good excuse.
But it's not here. In
Yes,
Indonesia. No, it's not.
I wish we can do that here. Yeah, lanjut. Okay. Here, well, this happened last time. There was a hardline group that prohibited restaurants to be open during the fasting time. We call it, the slang is called sweeping, but actually it's the act of forcing restaurants to close down during Ramadan. And, a group of people just stormed the restaurant like that. Tens, sometimes hundreds of people. Do you have that in Saudi?
No,
No?
because of all restaurants and all cafes and are closed the whole day in Ramadan. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have such a hardline group in Saudi?
No.
Okay. Okay, lucky you. Anyway, we don't have that group anymore now.
Alhamdulillah.
The head of that group, this hardline FPI, was in Saudi, Rizik Shihab. Why was he there so long? Did you?
You cannot say to any Saudis why you are here in Indonesia if he's legal. So Rizik Shihab was legally staying in Saudi Arabia. And when he decided to come back to Indonesia, of course, we have nothing to tell to remain or to go. It's his decision.
Did he pay the penalty of overstay? No?
That was in the beginning.
That was in the beginning.
That
Okay.
was in the beginning, and he fixed the case, and he remained until he decided to come back.
He should have stayed there because now he's in jail.
Well,
Okay. Another thing, do you have this in Saudi, ngabuburit or leisure activities that we do before iftar, like doing menial stuff, doing activities just for the sake of killing time? Do you do that?
well, inside the houses.
Oh, I
you
forgot.
find-
You are sleeping during the day.
No.
You don't have to do
we
this.
get up. We get up after. We get up after the prayer. So we
Okay.
normally before
Okay.
before iftar, you find the whole family just sharing the preparing of the iftar.
Okay.
So the husband, of
Okay.
course the mother, the kids, all are in the kitchen preparing for iftar,
Okay.
and many others go outside just to buy things
Okay.
for iftar and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. But I don't believe it happens in Saudi, so this one's cross. Next. What about this? Sahur on the road. I think you must have heard about this in Indonesia. It's more like a tradition.
Yeah.
Sahur on the road is, you take your sahur, you take your breakfast, you have your breakfast in the morning, and then
Yeah.
and then you go around the neighborhood, and sometimes
Yeah.
you go around the city. I don't know, just to have fun, and then with apa sih beduk tuh?
Yes.
Tuk-tuk.
Yeah. Well, that was long time ago
I mean, in Saudi.
in Saudi. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
you don't do that anymore.
Well, because people are waking up and they are awake, so no need to wake them up.
Okay, amazing. So tonight, I've already proved, despite all the similarities that we have, there is still a difference between the Saudis and Indonesia.
Like
we
what?
have that.
Okay, let's see.
You don't have that.
That's right.
And we have ngabuburit. You don't have that because you're sleeping.
Yes, yes.
And then you don't have that hardline organization that storms different restaurants, asking them to close down their restaurants. Okay, good for you. Anyway, last question,
Yes.
Pak Dubes. Recently, there's a few countries that gave like sort of a recognition or like a reward, to and for Indonesia, such as naming one of the streets after our leader. I think we had that in the past. I went to Cairo, and then there was a street called President Sukarno, Ahmad Sukarno Street in Egypt. And then recently also there was a Sukarno Monument built in Aljazair, Sukarno Park in Mexico, and then of course President Joko Widodo Street in Abu Dhabi. Is there going to be a street name after our leader, say in Neom or where else?
I have been living in Riyadh, the capital, long time ago. There is a street in Riyadh named Jakarta Street.
In Riyadh?
Yes.
I
And
think I should Google
long
it.
time ago. Until now, it exists. Yes,
Still Jakarta Street?
Jakarta Street. And we have been working together with the government of Jakarta, with the governor Anis Baswedan, and there was an agreement to do twinning of two cities. So we are working on that because of the pandemic. I think we
okay.
stop it, but we are working on that. So it's gonna be between
Sister cities, right?
sister cities, between Jeddah and Jakarta, or Riyadh and Jakarta. But hopefully that's gonna be very soon. And hopefully one day we see in Jakarta here Riyadh Street or Jeddah Street.
Okay.
Same like what we have in our
Okay.
country.
We'll do that also. I mean, I will remind our governor.
Good.
But thank you so much, Pak Dubes. It's an honor to have you here, and
my
I
honor.
enjoy the talk. And hopefully, Indonesia and Saudis will have good relationships in the future. And despite all these problems that we might have.
Well, thank you very much, MasBos, for having me in your
Okay.
program. Thank you for your followers.
Okay.
Hopefully that they enjoy the meeting,
Okay.
and hopefully to see you soon again.
Okay, before you close, just say something in Arabic to say goodbye to the followers.
مع السلامة إلى اللقاء,
Is it?
which is goodbye.
Okay.
And see you soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you
Shukran.
very much. شكرا
Thank you.
جزيلا. Thank you.